Hi, everybody. Welcome. Hope you guys are all doing well, and welcome to Sunday YIN. We're going to get started in about 2-ish minutes. So what I can tell you about today is we have a playlist in practice this morning, or whenever you find it, if you're not joining live. If you could also grab two props, two blocks at home. And if you could also grab a towel, and I'm just going to go over how to use that towel or how to set it up at least if we want to use it in the practice. Playlist today is on my Spotify. My Spotify handle is my friend Simone, all one word, like I'm your friend, you're mine, as we are. And the playlist is YIN Sunday, March 7th. It should be at the top of all my playlists for today, and it should be public. So hopefully you can enjoy those sweet sounds. Or, of course, if you choose, no music is needed. And hi, Mom. How are you? Happy Sunday. Welcome to the mat, guys. We're going to take it easy today. The theme for today is Sunday. And Sundays to me, and I think to a lot of people, mean resting up, letting go, and just creating ease for this day of the week and into, for a lot of us, the rest of the week and work weeks. So if you can, intention-wise, set that up for yourself, give yourself permission to take care of yourself in this practice. With our towels, bath towels, please, or big towels, you kind of fold them in half, and then you fold them again in half, right? So you have a towel kind of like that, as you would hang it, on your towel rod or whatever. And you basically just roll it up, guys, roll it up. And in that roll, you have a little bit of a buffer. So I want you to have that handy nearby. And we're going to get started in our practice. Yummy, yummy yin. Hey, Paul Fox. Foxy Fox, that's husband Paul to you guys. One of the things that I also want us to pay attention to is just any kind of things that come up with our thought pattern, and just noticing what we produce, because we are producing those thought patterns. They don't happen to us. And just noticing whether those thought patterns are good, serve you, not so great. The thing with thought patterns is, even when they're great, they can still be a kind of distraction in the way of taking you on this journey of story. And so if you notice, and when you notice the thought pattern, check it out. And then just kind of return again to the breath and the sensation of the pose in your body, and how your body and your breath are kind of meeting as one to create space for the pose to take its effect. We are going to get started, guys. Before you lie down, I want to count us down on the playlist. Welcome. So counting down, if you could grab your device, whatever it is, maybe it's a computer as well. I'm going to count down for 5, 4, 3, and 2, and then 1, press play. Our volumes as you like. Take your lie down on your back body, Shavasana. Notice any adjustments you might need to make, just even to get into Shavasana, whether it's fussing with things like your props, your devices, your water. And don't allow yourself to get bothered by that determination to set yourself up into your pose. Because as we can see, once you get into Shavasana, she's worth it. Just following our breath here. And returning to the breath if we get a little distracted or if we follow something else for a bit. As you ride the wave of your breath, you might just notice what the exhale does in the way of creating weight and grounding into your mat. Can you give yourself over to that support? It might be more obvious to do it through the back body, but can you do it through the legs and the head too? And take your right arm overhead. And as you feel that land, just roll over onto your right side, taking a pause in fetal position for a beat. You can use your hand that's in front of your heart and face, that's your left hand, and push up to a sit. And we're going to grab our props. And we're going to start with the ultimate Sunday pose. A little open heart surgery here. One of your props is going to be at this height on your mat. Just maybe where your shoulder blades would go. Essentially, the back of your chest body. And the second prop or stack is going to go a little lower. And unlike the first prop, it will go vertical behind you, whereas that first prop will go horizontal. If you think this is going to be too hard, you might unroll and lay it across both of them to get a little buffer. If you're good with this, You start by hitting the back of your chest, the back body, the upper back body onto that first prop. And then laying your head down. And then stepping the soles of your feet into prayer position for your knees to be wide. And again, creating a bit of determination here to get into the pose. So doing what we need to do to set that up, even if it's a little bit of fuss at the onset, so that you can really savor where you end up. Negotiating anything that's awkward at the top. Maybe traveling through bigger breaths to negotiate that. And then committing to a place that's still, not only in your physical body, but hopefully in that mental space as we follow our breath. And if you can just notice how things are changing, and if you can equal that change, even if it's a little stubborn, even if it feels a little challenging in the way of sensation or emotion, if you can equal that change with a kind of evolution, right? We know that that can mean the same thing, but sometimes we equate evolution, evolving, with a more positive thing, a more positive transition. So as this evolves, how is the space of breath evolving? How is the space in your body evolving? Even if it looks like just a little more trust, just a little more letting go. Last little bit of time here, Just exploring if the breath can go a little deeper, less shallow. Maybe even so big in scope that you could feel your head fill up with air on the inhale. Few more breaths where you feel the belly rise first for the inhale, then the chest, and maybe the head fill up a bit. And then you let it go from the belly and the chest, and then through the head, and the full scope of breath travels in and out. Take your hands towards your outer thighs. Encourage the knees to close like a book, slow and steady as you press through the outer feet. Feel the soles of the feet land on the mat and then extend one leg at a time to long. And then put one of your hands behind your head and pick up your head with the power of your belly and a little help through that hand. Squeeze your belly as you get your chin higher than your chest. Maybe grab the outsides of the mat there. Hold on, push through the elbows, forearms, and sit up. Small gestures, slow and steady. Sweetness all the way through. You're going to remove those props and take yourself to lie down flat. And keep coming back to Shavasana in between. A kind of rebound and resetting of the spine. And just a good way to get a bit of feedback from each pose. Two breaths in through the nose and out. And stretch your right arm overhead again and roll onto the right side, fetal position. Feel a big breath in and out here. And then use your left hand to push up. Sitting back up. Option to use a stack or to use a rolled up towel, because this one sometimes feels a little hard on the back body. We're going to go across the thoracic spine. It's behind the heart of the rib cage. So we're going to set up our prop there so that we can really propel the rib cage open as we lie back down. Now you might know that you really love this pose if you've done it before with me, so you might double up as I'm doing. And as you lie back down, there's going to be a pretty big push open through the rib cage and the heart of the midsection of the spine. It might leave you pretty vulnerable in your neck body, which might mean using a prop again underneath your head. Your bum should be on the floor, and so should your head either be on the floor or on your prop. Those two things can't be suspended from space because you need to be able to relax into the space. Notice all that you notice, absolutely. It's not about shutting the door on what shows up. The practice of mindfulness and that meditation here is really showing up to being aware. But there is a distinction between being aware and indulging. Keep coming back to your breath. As you receive the ease of the pose and the ease components of our yin, can you notice a softening in the expression of your face? Can you let go of the jaw and either soften the space of the eyes or close them? Take another deep breath in. And slow breath out. You can enjoy a couple more breaths or start to come out slow to return to Shavasana, hand behind the head. Pick up the head slow, a little higher than the chest. Whew. Grab the sides of your mat and sit up slow through the press of the hands, arms, elbows. Remove what's behind you and take a really nice pause in Shavasana, flat back to the mat. If you stayed a little longer in that pose, making sure that you come out now so that you can at least have 3 breaths in Shavasana. And listen to the feedback. Totally normal to feel an ache, but also likely that you'll feel space in your body. Like there's pockets of space that weren't there before. And take your arm overhead again. If you want to do the other arm to go to fetal position on the other side, feel free. And as you roll to fetal position, grab a breath there. Find that pause so that you can small gesture your way into a sit. Just sit up tall, and to do that, because it can feel a little challenging, legs long in front, ground through the sit bones. And just notice anything in the way of the spine that has to articulate itself a little more deliberately to sit up tall. And then cross your legs in a kind of Sukhasana. Either leg in front of the other, hands to knees. And then slightly just look forward so you feel the neutral of the chin, the softness of your jaw and eyes remain. Deep breath in. And as a counter, round the spine here. And then as you sit up tall and press through the seat, come out of a tall spine to inhale and arch a bit. Shoulder blades closer together. And then exhale, round. One more time. Inhale, movement through the straight spine and arch. This is subtle. Feel the subtle. Exhale, round. Come through the rounding to long spine. Breathe in. And then we're going to let go of the hands on the legs or knees. Lengthen the legs and lie back down. Props nearby in your hands. Step the soles of the feet to the mat and ground down. And we'll go into a supported bridge pose. And we'll start with one prop at a time. First prop can be the lowest height of the block, or it can be the second highest height. You're going to lift your butt up, maybe feel a little squeeze of the bum, and sneak your prop underneath you to be just above your bum cheeks, at the base of your spine, underneath your sacrum. Should feel pretty decent after our last couple of poses, including that Shavasana that we had after opening our thoracic spine. first step is to soften the insides of the legs, the inseams there, so that you might even feel the fan open of your knees. The second set of things to do here is to feel how the breath rises your belly on the inhale. I've got my hands there. And falls your belly on the exhale. And then the next little bit of to do might be to go deeper and lengthen the legs. If you're lengthening the legs, the heels have to rest pretty heavy on your floor, onto your mat. It's okay to try it on and decide it's not for you, especially if it starts to fuss with the scope and ease of your breath. Again, noticing the things that evolve here. A space that opens up in your body. The quality of your breath. You can take it a little deeper. And ways to go a little deeper into sensation. If your legs are bent, maybe they go long now. Or you can bring the block higher or set another prop on top of that first prop. To do that, if your legs are long, you got to bend your legs, ground through the feet. You can change the height of the block to the highest height, or you can change that first stack to the lowest height and take a second stack, lift your bum, and slip this guy underneath. Underneath and on top of that first prop. if you've changed the height of the block or if you've added on a second prop, you need to assess. Start with a bend in the legs, soften those thighs and the butt. Start there. And then move towards the credibility of your breath. Hands maybe on your belly or on your ribs. Feel the lift and fall. You might long your legs. If you went deeper, you might stay put. Travel softly and slowly through 2 more breaths. If your legs are still long, then create a bend on them to step the soles of the feet to the mat. And the way we came into this pose is the way we need to exit. So if there's 2 props, you release 1 prop at a time. And sneaking out the prop as you lift your butt a little higher. Taking a pause. Until you get to releasing either 2 props or maybe bringing the prop down slowly through different heights to eventually put your sacrum flat onto the floor. Step your feet wider and wider, and then knock your knees in. And lengthen your back body, maybe walking your upper back body up a bit so that you feel the mid and low back set down on your mat. Light tuck of the chin might help that too. With the tuck of the chin in, can you press the back of your head a little deeper into your mat? Almost like you're getting a pie in your face and you're trying to move your head back. That might give you a little squeeze in the upper back body and a little relief or sensation in the neck body. And hold that for 3, 2, knock your knees out wide, and then walk your feet in a little more neutral and close together. Right hand overhead, and fetal position again. Curl your knees up a little higher in line with your hips. And then with the help of your left palm, kind of press open your heart so you create a twist. And you're going to twist open to mostly land your left shoulder onto the mat, even if it picks up your top and left leg. If it does that, just nuzzle one of your props in between your thighs like you would with a pillow, and let that support anything that's meeting the space of gravity. And just try and release into this twist. It'll be pretty intense through the spine. As you settle into this, can you feel for how you might articulate bigger breaths in and out? Just to meet the specificity of the twist. Two more breaths. Perhaps the biggest expression of breath. coming back over onto your right side out of this twist. And releasing your prop if you've got one. And from the fetal position, getting back into your Shavasana. Feeling the feedback of stuff that you've kind of stirred up on your left side here. And just enjoying the fact that that was possibly made by you, right? By you showing up to being curious in your body, being curious with your breath. And take your left arm overhead. Roll to the fetal position. And curling up your knees in line with your hips. Just using your right palm to ground down and open your chest body without taking your legs with it. Your legs will somewhat move with you as you go deeper into the twist to put your right shoulder blade on the ground. And as that happens naturally, maybe you're going to need one of your props. You can slip that in between your thighs to support landing here in your twist. Just noticing in your body where you can put body parts a little more to sleep and rest. So just noticing where you can let go in the hands and where you can let go in the jaw. And even in the toes. Again, we can notice and try and come back after you become aware of anything, whether it's a sound, a thought, a story. Just come back to the inhale and the exhale. Two last breaths. Trying for an expression that is bigger, bolder. Really stretching our twist from the inside to out with that breath. Making your way back into the fetal position on the left side. Removing your prop if there's one in between your legs. And then taking yourself back onto your back body. To feel the lingering effects of that pose in your more neutral state of Shavasana. Staying as low as you can to your mat so that it's an almost sleepy gesture. You're going to make your way to a child pose. You might even find it with your eyes closed. I'm going to invite you to take your knees a little closer together so that we stay sensation-wise in the back body. Your knees can in fact just be touching, and that'll encourage a nice rounding in the spine. It's a subtle rounding of the spine, but it's enough to feel space in the vertebrae kind of open up and feel stretched out a bit here and there. And you can use your breath almost like a vision of sorts. You can envision the breath moving up or down the whole of your spine, maybe making little stops along the way to sweeten inside of the vertebrae on the way up or down. And follow your breath that way. Ground down into your shins, your knees, and your shoelaces here. And with your head coming up the very last, push into your mat with your legs to roll up slow. You might really feel the heaviness of your bones in space of gravity, as well as into the grounding of your mat. A kind of luxury to be that in touch with your body. Level your chin to make your neck long. And whether your eyes are closed or not, take your arms overhead in a stretch. Breathe in. And interlock your hands behind your head with your elbows mostly wide. Press a little bit of your head into your hands, up and back with gaze. A little bit of an arch. And come out of that to neutral. And reach your right elbow to the right and down with your left elbow up. Side bend. Come up to neutral. And reach your left elbow to the left, right elbow up. Side bend. And come up to neutral. And let it all go. You can round out the shoulders if it feels sweet. And let's go to Shavasana. Stay as long as you can, guys. It's Sunday. Thanks for joining. Thanks for your efforts. But mostly thanks for letting go. Lots of love, you guys. Namaste.